Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal. I'm part of the team here at Syncro. I'll let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hi, everybody. It's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy. Nice to see you guys.
Hey, everybody. It's Hannah. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I think it's so funny. I don't know why I always forget to wait until that cuckoo clock stops, but it goes every time I start. Anyways, welcome to Open Office Hours. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're so happy to have you. This is really just a place where you can come and ask whatever questions you've had throughout the week or since you've started with Syncro. It does not matter where you are at in your journey, whether you're trialing, never seen it before, or you've been a customer for years. So we are open to questions. We use the Q&A, not the chat. We internally use the chat to send you links. And disclaimer, if you don't click the links while we're in the broadcast, they will disappear afterwards. So make sure you do click those. And then we use the Q&A. So if you see me glancing over here or anyone, we're probably just scanning that Q&A. It's also worth noting that, we definitely do our best to answer all of the questions that we can. If it is, technical support heavy, we might suggest that it's worthy of a ticket. Or if you don't get an answer right away, we might be kind of asking in the background. So we do our best. We're not gonna, just leave you hanging. So feel free, again, use the Q&A. All questions are welcome. We're not going to do a deep dive today. We're just going to dive right into Q&A. Last week, we had an awesome deep dive of backups. And so if you did not catch that, please head to our YouTube channel because it was awesome. There was a ton of great questions. But with that, we really only had about 10 minutes to answer all of the Q&A that was not backup related. So we want to dedicate today to kind of get back into the flow of the software as a whole and how you're using it and what questions that you have. So I see some questions rolling in, so I will hand it over to Brandy.
Awesome. Thanks, Evan. The gang's all here. So we're all here. You guys are all here. We're all here together. And then I have a question in here. I'm new with Syncro, so welcome. Can you simply walk through a ticket process from open to note, internal, external, customer to close? Yes, absolutely. And the great thing about our system is that you can have tickets created a ton of different ways. So you can have a ticket created via email, a chat, I could have one from the system tray icon. Your customer could do it from the customer portal. But a really easy way for you to manually create a ticket, and you can do it from any page in Syncro, but I like to personally do it from a customer page. Customer calls you, hey, let's find out which device they're on. They can hover over their system tray icon. And I am scrolling down to assets and I'm creating a ticket right here. From here, it's been a while since we've had time to do this on an open office hours actually. So I'm going to choose which required fields I have. I have a couple here. I'm actually going to use a custom field just to show you one of the really awesome features inside of tickets that some of you all miss. So now I'm working on a ticket. I've got my worksheet. I chose that this was a virus removal ticket from the custom field. So now I have a little checklist of tasks that I want to accomplish here. Maybe I'm going to actually just manually enter my time today. So I'm going to add this time onto the ticket. But if you'd like to, you can absolutely use the timer and have that round up. Maybe I'm working on this ticket and I also need to go ahead and pop into a remote session. I can do that directly from inside of the ticket here, or maybe I want to chat with them, run a script and remediate this. Now, communications, I can make a private note just to show, I could say phone call with open office hours, and I can make a private note here. I can also log time. If you want to make an email to the customer and communicate here, you can, or maybe there's no asset here and you want to send over an agent installer link. Let's get them on board with your MSP services. And then lastly, if there are any products that you need to add here, I can go ahead and do that directly from my inventory, or you can add any manual items here too. Now, the invoicing is a whole new beast, so it's really streamlined in our process. If you want to go ahead and pull in any tickets that have been resolved in a month, you could do that. But I can go ahead and change the status right here. I can also change the status down below. if you would prefer to do it that way when you send off an email to your customers. So hopefully that helps. Tons of ticket automations. I believe we did a ticket automations deep dive recently, maybe a couple months by now, but we can drop that in here for you too. Hopefully that helps.
Definitely helps. Thank you so much, Brandy. Way to start us off. Super, super awesome. I have a question here from Steve. He says, Patch Tuesday was pretty rough this week. We had a Microsoft KB break a lot of workstations. This brought up a blind spot in Syncro for us. We wanted to be able to remove an installed update and or prevent a specific update from being installed or offered. We were able to use the scripting to remove the update via PowerShell, but I saw no way to do this from the policy or patch management options. Additionally, I see no way to prevent that update from being installed if Microsoft has not recalled it yet. Any suggestions, or is there any options that I'm missing? So I'm happy to address this for you. I'm sorry to hear about all the trouble that you went through this week, and I hope that it is behind you and that the weekend is ahead of you and that everything will be wonderful moving forward. So option wise through Syncro, let's talk about patches. If we're going to go over to more policies, this is going to be, you already know this, but for those that are new, I just want to show you how I'm getting to that section. You can either pop into a specific policy or you can tab into the Windows patches through Syncro. So I'm going to go ahead and open that in a separate tab, and I'm going to click into a policy as well. So as you guys are building this out, if you guys are testing Syncro, if you're in the beginning stages of implementing this, again, this policy is going to kind of be your umbrella of where you're adjusting the settings that are important to you. This is where you find the Windows updates section. You can have multiple Windows patch policies. So if you're running certain categories on certain schedules, you can have multiples of them. Excuse me. You can have multiples of them applied here in this kind of umbrella policy that you're building, if that makes sense. So now we're going to dive into the Windows patches. I'm going to show you every setting that I know, and you can make the best decision based on what you want to do with your endpoints in your business. So when you're setting up your Windows patch policies, I think my voice is too excited and I have to chill out for just a second. Sorry about that. I had to mute for a second. Okay. Okay, we got this, guys. We're going to get through Windows patches. So when you're setting up your Windows patch policies, we give you a list of categories to choose from. This is where you say, you know what, critical updates, super important to me. I want these to run on this schedule, daily, weekly, whatever you decide in here. So what this will do is the ones that you select will be allowed to install. You can also say how you want Syncro to respond if there's a reboot required. So that could be this first line of defense for you. This is what you allow to install on the schedule that you specify. Again, you create this policy, you pop it into this umbrella policy right here. So this is what we're allowing. What I see when you guys are updating the rest, so the rest of these that you leave blank, they will be blocked. They will be filtering and is missing in the Windows patch management section on the individual asset basis. So sometimes I see you guys creating a separate policy. So pretend this is a new policy, and you're building and you're saying these three right here, or whatever you choose. It's up to you as the MSP, as the industry professional. You choose, yep, these three categories. I want these to actually run on a weekly basis, maybe or monthly, every other week, whatever schedule you want. And so again, this will hold them back until your schedule here. So that would be option number 2. Okay, now I want to allow, these weekly ones, whatever it might be. When they get blocked, they're going to filter into your reports section. This is how you can see them in bulk. You go over to more, reports. I'm going to open 2 tabs, missing patches by KB, vulnerable systems. This first one right here is going to show you, hey, this is the list of KBs. This is how many assets are missing that specific KB. And in here, you can say, yep, these 3 right here, I haven't heard any bad news. I've done some testing. These are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and push those in bulk. So again, anything that's not selected here, anything that's getting blocked, that's not running on any type of schedule ever, is going to be missing. You can push it in bulk here. You also can use the second report, vulnerable systems report. It shows you this is the list of assets. This is how many patches each one is missing. And sometimes I see you guys scheduling this daily, weekly, whatever it might be, to get this into your inbox where you can see, here's my assets, here's the ones that are having problems. And through this report right here specifically, you can click into that endpoint, and at any time you can click into the endpoint tab over to Windows patches, and you can push those for just that one specific device. Maybe you're doing testing. and install those specific patches. So to answer your question directly, you're correct. Through Syncro, we do not at this time have a way to block one specific KB. This is a feature request. This is important to us. From our side, I think I said this last week or maybe even the week before. It's not that it's not important to us. It's that we have limitations on the Windows side of what we can or can't do, and things are constantly changing, as you guys know. So from our side, we're not going to ship something that only works like 10% of the time. So to us, we want this to work. It's not available currently. So there isn't a way to block one specific patch. There also isn't a way to roll back a patch. So the way that you did it through scripting is the correct way, but hopefully the other tips that I shared with you today are going to be helpful. So that's what I have for you. Please let me know if you have additional questions.
All righty. Awesome. Okay. Heidi, I'm just getting a little bit further clarification, so maybe just give me a couple minutes, but I will have an answer for you on your question. I was going to grab this one from Richard. If I have a ticket that needs a site visit, once I make an appointment, is there a way to hide the ticket or put it on hold status and then automatically show it again on the day of the appointment? Really good question. So there's not, I don't think, really a great way to necessarily hide it. But you can obviously utilize your ticket statuses. And when you said on hold, it kind of triggered something in my brain to just show this part of it. If you have a service level agreement attached to that ticket, you can pause the countdown. So like if you have service level agreements with your customers and you want to make sure that this doesn't like totally breach that SLA or, skew your reports and that kind of thing, then you can pause like the actual ticket like countdown, that like time to resolution is what I'm saying. You can pause that. So if you do have like on hold, you can add that as a status so that it's not counting against your service level agreement. Again, when you're using statuses that way, you can also, if you're in your tickets dashboard, you can have a view that hides certain statuses. So like if you wanted to create a new ticket just dashboard for yourself, you can have one that's set by your default. And then you can say, if the ticket status is on hold, or if you don't want to see it, you can just remove it from that list. So that would be my recommendation on that. And again, I'm going to let's answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to come back to the one for Heidi.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. A couple of questions in here. So Daniel's asking, is there a way to allow emails from unrecognized people to not automatically create a new lead, but still create a ticket? All of my customers have the same email domain, so I can't utilize that feature to unload new contacts. So really good question. And I'm assuming since all of your customers have the same domain, maybe it's an internal department. If you want to expand on that a little bit, you can. What he's referring to is if I go into a customer, I can edit a customer and I can toggle over to custom fields and add their domain. This way, if I get an inbound email, it's not going to create a new lead. It'll just create a contact under this customer. So that would be the first way to handle that. Another way would be to handle that via email rules. And then you could have like a specific domain and you want that to become a certain customer. But aside from that, in your mailboxes, there isn't a way to do that unless you just choose, okay, always I want to create tickets. This is going to handle the ticketing part. It's not going to handle the leads feature unless you're using either email rules or you're using that custom field inside of a customer page. So unfortunately, that would be the only way to do that if you have the leads module turned on. And I don't think there's anything else to add to that, but if there is, you guys feel free to chime in. And then I have another question. So follow up to the ticket walkthrough, custom field setup to become a checklist. So I love this because this is one of my favorite features in the system that I don't think enough people utilize just because they simply don't know it's there. So over in the admin section, what you're going to do, and this is the worksheet that they're referring to. So I'm going to toggle on down. I'm going to head on down to my ticket worksheets here. I can create a new worksheet. I can of course just open up one of these worksheets that I have. So I'll just open that virus removal one. You can come through and you can create these. They can be text boxes, check boxes, drop downs. I can even include like a new section header here. The great thing is now I can choose, okay, if I select this specific custom field, then it's going to automatically bring in this worksheet for me. So it doesn't have to just tie into one specific custom field type. It could be multiple. You guys, these are really great for onboarding new customers too. You might have a list of questions, you know, I need to, and if you're internal IT, I get people who love this too, because it could be, you know, you're hiring a new employee. I've got to set up their email. I've got to set up all of these different things so you can utilize that. So worksheets is going to be the first place where you're going to set those up. And then of course, well, maybe not in this order, because you would also want to set up your ticket custom fields. I think that's down here. Yes, under tickets also. So 2 places in admin: ticket custom fields and ticket worksheets.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to hop back in and answer Heidi's question. When a credit is added to a customer in Syncro, does that credit also show in QuickBooks before it is applied to an invoice? Yes. So I actually have a screenshot. One of our awesome technical support folks sent this over to me. So let me actually just share my screen and show you what it looks like on the QuickBooks side, because this is kind of neat. I don't normally see things up from the QuickBooks side, but this is what it would look like. So you'd have your invoices and then you'd have your unapplied credits here. So again, not knowing the full use case, I do know that I can answer confidently that the credits do show on the QuickBooks side for you to, before they're applied to the actual invoice. So hopefully that helps, Heidi.
Awesome. Thank you. One Stop IT Solutions has a question. How do you upgrade/update an existing Syncro agent? I have an endpoint that is stuck between a Syncro agent uninstall and a new install. I cannot get the secondary install of the new agent with the new policy. Great question. I did ping an awesome technical support person for this answer. Everything should update automatically. If something went wrong, you can actually download our uninstall tool from the Installing the Syncro Agent KB. I'll drop that in the chat box for you so you can go to there. After removing the agent, you can do a fresh install, but that is pretty rare. So if you are seeing this on a routine basis, please open a ticket with technical support.
Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. I'm going to find out if that's the same for QuickBooks Desktop, because I don't know. I know there's more syncing capabilities with QuickBooks Online. So let me just verify that before I give you an answer on that. Oh, here they are. I was like, where's all the questions? And then they come rolling in. So go ahead, Tatiana.
Great question from Jason. How do you change an asset to another policy? Super easy. I'll show you how to do it individually as well as in bulk. So if we go over to our specific endpoint here, just over in the overview tab, there's going to be a policy section. You click this button right here and you move it to whatever you want it to be. That is how you do it individually. If you want to move an asset or a list of assets to a different policy, if you go over to your assets and RMM section, you could create a saved asset search here to the left. And in here, you can search by any criteria that you want. Maybe they are for a specific customer and you're now upgrading them to a new policy. Maybe they're all on the silver package, but you offered an awesome promotion and a discount, and now everybody is willing to move to the gold package, and you are going to be monitoring more and you're selling more services, whatever it might be. You can say if all of the ones that are on this policy, I want to move into this one now, that is available there. So you can you can create a saved asset search, or you can just literally just select all assets and you can say manage, change policy right here. And that is how you do it in bulk. There you go.
Thank you, Tatiana. Evan, great question. So we're thinking of moving off of QuickBooks Desktop. Any word of wisdom between Xero or QuickBooks Online? I think I'm leaning towards Xero, but want to know if any of you have a preference or if you hear more positive feedback from Syncro customers or one or the other. So I'm actually going to let the group chime in too. I will say it's a no-brainer between QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. But when it comes to QuickBooks Online and Xero, the functionality is pretty similar there. So, you know, you're not going to go wrong with either one. I think I've probably heard more, I don't know, this is just me speaking from demos. I think more people use QuickBooks Online, but as a company, I think we recommend Xero. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to that, but if any of you guys have had experience with maybe, you know, the transition from QuickBooks Desktop to online or to Xero, or maybe even you switch from QuickBooks to Xero, feel free to chime in and just drop that in the Q&A, and we'll pass that on over to give some feedback. But I truly think that the features are going to be pretty similar. I think QuickBooks Online and Xero, you really can't go wrong with either one. Pretty seamless integration. Payments are a two-way sync, which is going to be a huge one too. I think you'll enjoy the move.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll grab this question here at the top from Mario. He says, how do we block or approve or decline a certain Windows update from installing? At this time, there is a feature request. I actually just answered this question pretty in depth, maybe like 10-15 minutes ago, so I'm not going to make you guys sit through that entire spiel again. I did do a deep dive and I just dropped that into the chat box. So if you want to know exactly how Windows Patch Management works through Syncro, please take a look at that YouTube video, and I'm going to resend it because it looks like I actually sent it just to my friends here on our panel, and you are the one that actually needs to see it because they've already seen me walk through this like a million times. So there you go. Let me know if you have any additional questions.
Thank you. I was going to grab this one from Daniel. Is there a way to move a contact, including their ticket history and asset, from one customer to another? Okay. So I think this is like multifaceted. And if you guys know like a way easier way of thinking about this, please jump in. But let me just share my screen. So I am here in a customer detail screen, and I wanted to just show that like, if you wanted to take an entire customer and merge it to another customer, totally achievable. You cannot reverse this. So like, it'll tell you this is not reversible. You can actually merge two customers together, which is, again, I know this isn't exactly what you said. So the other thing that I know that you can do, if you go ahead, Brandy. Do you want to?
I think you're doing exactly what I would do. So go ahead and do that, and I'll chime in if there's anything additional.
Okay. So the other thing I was going to do is I was just going to show that like for a specific asset, you can change the asset to a completely different customer, which would take a ticket, like the tickets that are associated with this asset, to another customer. So like you can edit this and change the customer. What I don't know, and maybe you know, Brandy, this won't take the contact though by doing this, right?
It won't take the contact, but then you could, you would have to add the contact under that customer. I was saying, because like if you click on assets in RMM and you go to change a contact, just like in mass, it's not going to change that contact without it being associated to the customer, because it does pull from that list of contacts under the customer. It doesn't pull from like every contact that you have in the system. So the first step would be exactly what you showed. Change the customer, and then from there you can change the contact. I'm not sure if it'll show any of the contact history. I know it will show all the ticket history under the asset, but I'm not sure about the contact.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. So you can edit the actual asset, update the customer, and then you can always edit who the contact is, but that contact has to be in that customer record. So you would have to, and I just want to double check here. If I go to Larry, let me just make sure if I'm on that contacts page, if they give me any option to like I don't think there's a way to change the actual customer from the contact page. I think you have to recreate it.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get the contact history, to be honest, because I think you're basically adding like a new contact, right? Because like you can have two contacts I could have myself as a contact under one customer and myself as a contact for another customer, but it's only going to show my stuff from the one customer. It won't bring in both. So.
Yep. Thank you.
I think I'm up. Okay, Bryant, it's good to see you. It's been a bit since I've chatted with you. But he just wanted to give a tip to the gentleman who was asking about QuickBooks and Xero. Just said to talk to your accountant. So sometimes they have a strong preference towards a platform. Great suggestion there. So if you do have an accountant, go ahead and reach out to them too. The great thing is you can do everything inside of our platform too. So.
Awesome. Bryant has another question. Do you record open office hours? Yes, absolutely. He says it will be cool if you recorded them and a posting of the questions so that we can go back and review them. I don't think we specifically post the specific questions that were asked. However, I will drop the YouTube page in the chat box for you. And then all of our open office hours sessions from Fridays are going to be in here, and they are awesome. And if anybody hasn't seen our YouTube page, anytime that there is a new feature released, that they do a great video about that as well. So this is a great place to have as a resource.
I can grab a I can grab a quick question. Mario's asking, how do we produce a report on certain customers showing all patch updates done for all assets? I read that question wrong the first time that I saw it. I thought which ones are missing on a customer per customer basis, but updates done. I'll actually show you. This is going to be in our executive summary report, I believe. So let's take a look. Executive summary report builder. If we go over to the admin section, reports, and executive summary report builder, this is where I would look first, because these two that I showed previously, missing patches by KB and vulnerable systems, are going to show the ones that are not there. But if you go over to your executive summary report builder, this is going to be the first section, and I see Brandy raising her finger, so she probably has a way beyond what I'm about to show, so I'll let her chime in here real quick. But you can run this report on a customer per customer basis. You can select the default template if necessary. And the biggest thing, instead of showing you this report that doesn't include those details, I'll open the report templates and I'll show you that this is where you're building based on what you know is important to that specific customer, maybe based on their industry. If you go over to the executive summary report template, this is where you can insert a report element, visual summary, add new. And I know that there is a Windows Update Statistics, Windows Update Coverage. So use either of these. I think that's the one that I usually show, is within the last time frame what you want to show. And it won't show it like KB by KB, but your customer won't know, most likely won't know what each KB is, why it's important. That's probably why they hired you, is because they just don't want to think about it. But this report will say like, hey, look at what a great job I'm doing for you. This is the value that I bring. So I'm going to stop there and I'll let Brandy share.
I actually was just thinking that possibly, and we can look at this together, that in the asset activity audit, that is shown. Patch management, I'm not 100% sure what does show in here, but we can even try. Sometimes this report takes a little bit to run. But I'm just wondering if it would show up in here too, because I know like applications that are installed do. So this would be another report that would be worth taking a look at, but executive summary, yes. Patch management, I don't know. It possibly Windows updates. You could also do that. So I would check out that report too. These are test machines, so we don't have a ton of things that are set up automatically to check on there. Sometimes I go to run a report for Larry and it's like there's so many things and sometimes there's nothing. So definitely test those, but probably the executive summary has more of what you're looking for there. I think while I'm unmuted, I have a couple questions in here. Let's just see here. So I have one from newbie to Syncro. So welcome. When deploying agents to new customers from different companies, will I need to clone or create separate installers for each customer? So the installer is going to be found if I just pop open my screen here and I go into a customer. You do have a tool right here that I'm going to just grab the agent installer link for a customer, and then I have it. I can come in here and I can choose which policy. You don't have to clone the policy. This will actually create a link that is specific to this particular customer. Even if every single one of your customers' devices, they all had the same policy, it's still going to create an installer for that specific customer. So when you run that, it will pull in those assets on the customer page. So you can definitely do that. If you need to make like one small tweak or change, you can also change that in the policies and clone it. But I also like to mention for new MSPs to Syncro, if you're not a brand new MSP, likely you have devices that are on other platforms. So we do have a ConnectWise importer, we have a SolarWinds importer, we have a Ninja importer, a Terra importer. There's a lot of ways that you can get your devices over into Syncro, but there's also going to be an agent installer here. So this, you can actually generate a script and run that from your existing RMM, and it would put Syncro on your devices as well. So hopefully that helps. And I think I have one more in here. So Daniel, is there a way to permanently delete customers? I have several that I accidentally made during testing. And now they're all going to my archived list instead of deleting. So yes, actually, if you just pop over into your customers, and you can do this in mass, or you can just individually select a few. If you just go up to bulk actions, you can delete. Keep in mind, you do have to have at least one of those selected for bulk actions to show up. But then you'll be able to delete those. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thanks. Just letting Steve and Brianna know we're working on answers for your questions, just to give you a heads up. And then I'm going to read this one from Heidi. This is interesting, and I like the feature request. So we are hoping to allow one contact access to pay bills in client portals for multiple customers due to location tax rates. We understand that we currently cannot have multiple tax rates assigned to same customer based on site location. In thinking this through, have a couple of ideas that could work to automate billing and give client ability to view all invoices for their tax locations. So the feature request is to allow us to assign same email address to multiple customer portals. So you can have multiple contacts across, you can have the same contact across multiple customers and give them specific portal access. So you can utilize their permissions to make sure that they are the ones that can pay the bills. That same contact can be the invoice CC as well on all of your invoices. So just wanted to make sure you've seen that. And then two, this option may take more, but would be doable. Ability to assign assets to a site location, which you can, and the ability to edit tax rates in reoccurring invoice templates. So the request is tax rates based upon location sites. So 100%, I think we've had that feature request before, and I'm happy to pass that through Heidi. So yeah, thanks for kind of writing that out and talking through that. So it's kind of like a half of it we can do right today, and feature request for the second part of it. So thank you. While I'm unmuted, I was going to grab this one from Trin. Ticket navigation for new user. In tickets, when you're in a ticket list, then in the ticket details, do we just use back arrow to back, or is there a save close button to make sure all changes are saved as we go back to the list? So let me just share my screen to let you know. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So you're here in your main tickets dashboard, you pop into an actual ticket detail, you do some work, maybe you track some time. I just wanted to let you know that like all of these things that you do, they're saved in real time. So like if you back out of this ticket using the back arrow, it's going to be saved. One thing that I do like to show, because this does get asked often, if you're actually done with this ticket and you're like ready to resolve this ticket, quick resolve. So there's resolve. I can hit resolve. It's going to resolve the ticket, but it's going to leave me in this ticket screen. if I'm done with this ticket and I want to go back to the ticket dashboard, if I hit quick resolve, it's going to resolve the ticket and it's going to take me back to the ticket screen. So really it's kind of preference. If you don't want to resolve the ticket or change the status, just by clicking back, if you want to go back to this ticket screen, we are saving all edits in real time. There's not a save button. You don't need to take that extra step. So hopefully that helps.
I'll grab this one at the top from Brianna. I don't have a perfect solution, but I'm hoping I can point you in the right direction. She says, hi, I'm just wondering what Syncro means by top level customer email. I have a specific contact under a customer selected to receive billing emails, which say they go to the top level customer email. I would think that the billing, the tag billing, customer billing name tag would pull that contact's name, but it does not. Am I missing something? So I'm gonna bring some clarity here and point you in the right direction. I don't have a perfect answer. Like I said, you will need to do a little bit of testing, but hopefully, like I said, this will give you enough of a background of the steps that you need to do to move forward. So real quick, if we go to the customer profile here, to me, when I hear the main or the top level email, it's this one right here. Under the customer information, you get this email address right here. Mine is main point of contact at syncromsp.com. Yours can be whatever. If you leave this blank, that's okay. You can tab over to your contacts and you can do it exactly how you set it up. So finance person gets all invoice emails only. You can put their email address in there, and then you can say this is the person that receives billing emails. So that's the distinction there, is if they're the contact and you want them to receive emails, go ahead and click that button right there. This main point of contact, I would assume, would be like a business owner or somebody who gets basically all correspondence, invoices, marketing materials, ticket closures, stuff like that. They receive basically everything. So that's from my understanding there. To help with your template tag question, which is what I'm understanding is either in the paid invoice email or just even in just the regular invoice section, what I would do in here is it's kind of really just, or unpaid invoice email, maybe that's the one that you're trying to edit. I don't know which one it is specifically, but I would really scroll through. There's in the time that we have available, I was trying to kind of scroll through and just test like what's getting pulled in, what are the tags actually going to show. So this is the way that I recommend testing. It's probably might not be the best way. This is just my personal opinion. So I tried putting in customer business name and full name, and then like putting the actual tag in there so that you can see which one of these is actually working, if that makes sense. And then like, so for this one, it pulled in just Larry's business because I don't have a full name. So that part's left off. So I know it's not the best option. I don't have like, okay, this is the perfect tag for you to use. There you go. But I would scroll through because there's a ton of different options here, and I only got like this far down the list. And so I would go through here, like there's invoice ones, invoice CC emails. And it sounds like you're trying to pull in the name. So I would either scroll through here or reach out to our support team if you can't find what you're looking for. But at least hopefully that gives you enough of a distinction of where those emails are pulling from, what the different differences there are, and how to edit those templates for emails and invoices.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tatiana. That was very helpful. Steve, we got an answer to your question. Follow up actually on the one-stop question. When running that batch uninstall script, are we supposed to delete the asset on the Syncro side? Will it reassociate with the existing asset or create a duplicate? Just looking for some specific steps on this. And so we did get an answer for you. The uninstall tool will remove the agent from the machine. The asset will still remain in Syncro. We add a UUID to each asset that remains after the agent is removed. When the agent is reinstalled, it will find the UUID and link back to the original asset. With doing that, you won't lose any information from the asset or having to delete it, which is awesome. And then I have one more question from Heidi. Can you show how to assign the asset to a site location? Thanks. Yes, I can absolutely show you that. So under a specific client that you want to make sure that you set up your multiple locations. And so here under the customer information, you can designate location 1, location 2 here. Then in the assets and RMM tab, there's actually a site address column that you can easily plug through here and then assign to those different site locations. Then when you are searching through your assets in RMM, if you start typing your company address, it will actually give you those options to then select by specific location. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Hannah. There's a long one for Bryant, and it's just in regards to a feature request and wanting to know how to find out if it's something that's being seriously considered. We don't have anything that's public facing right now that says, hey, here's all of our feature requests and upvote and downvote and things like that. Honestly, my best advice to you guys is to join our subreddit or our Facebook group, because they do use we have a community driven track feature request list. It comes out every couple weeks. You can submit whatever requests that you have. Typically, they're more of like enhancements, small quality of life features that can help you do your job more efficiently, help you make more money easier. Those types of requests, rather than like a huge module that we need to, have full-time devs on for months on end. But that's a really great place, because then all eyes are on it. You'll hear if your feature request wins and if it's going to be placed into the system or shipped pretty quickly. Usually that's within a couple weeks of you finding out. And I would recommend posting them there. You can always submit them to support, and those are absolutely logged and tracked. But if you're really wanting to get someone to respond to you, and you'll get a feel for if it is going to be released or not.
Is it my turn? I don't know. I'll go.
Yep.
Mario wants to know any plans on having support open earlier to cater to East Coast customers and weekends. Really great question. So absolutely yes on the first one. We are starting to increase our coverage. I don't know about the weekends. I know that we are increasing our coverage Monday through Friday, and we are continuing to hire and in different locations. So definitely know that we're working on that. Can't make any promises for the weekend, but I'm not going to say no either. Let's see here. Rob says, I couldn't edit a wrong payment. I created it for invoices, so I deleted it. Is that the best practice, or is it possible to edit the payment amount? I think that once you've marked something paid, you actually have to delete it out to be able to edit. Like you can edit an invoice at any time until you have received, marked it paid. So I actually think that that is the way you have to do it. Does anyone else know if there's a different way? I think that you're actually right, Rob. But again, if anyone has anything else on that. Let's see. Scott wants to know ability to copy paste text from my computer to Syncro Live computer. So let me just share my screen super quick here. Let me just go into, this is one way to do this. I think there's an asset attached. Okay, so I'm here, I'm in Syncro Live. Let me hop into a remote desktop connection. This little clipboard, this is used to copy paste from your computer to the computer you're remoting into. If you're having any problem or anything like that with utilizing that, please let us know. We want to hear about it. But this is the copy paste clipboard that you can use. Hopefully that helps.
I can grab this one at the top from Scott. He says, sorry, I was late joining. I cannot find anything in help. So I looked back, and I think you were asking before you submitted that question. It's kind of hard for us to track back, but I think you had the Windows patches question where you said ability to postpone Windows updates, new KB is causing blue screens. So I'm sorry to hear that. Sounds like you guys are having a rough week with that new patch release. So unfortunately, this time we don't have a way to block one specific KB. But if you know which patch category that KB falls under, you can block that. So Scott, I already dropped this into a chat, but I'll copy and paste it again. I did a Windows patch management deep dive video. It's about the first 5 to 10 minutes of this link that I just posted for you to take a look at. And that is how yes, you said yes, Dilly KB. Yep. That is how you block patches by category. So if you know which KB which category that key B falls under, you would be able to block it that way. And again, as the ladies have mentioned already, if you guys are all dealing with the same issue, a really great resource for you right now is to lean on the community. Join the Syncro subreddit. If you don't like Facebook, join Facebook if you're not on Reddit, and just reach out and see, hey guys, what's everybody else using? Because from our side, we are Syncro product experts, but we're not MSPs. We are not dealing with patches that are causing blue screens right now. So definitely reach out and lean on the community, and people are willing to help. Our community is phenomenal.
And I have posted so that you all know how many questions we've gotten about holding back and blocking patches today during today's call. So eyes are on that too.
Yep. Yes, for sure. These open office hours, I think that they provide just as much value for us. Hopefully it provides value for you all as well, but it does help us know exactly what issues you might be having, or feature requests, or even things that are working out really, really well. So all of that feedback is really helpful for us. And kind of like just following up on that too, feedback from Scott that, Syncro Live is a little bit leggy for you. So we definitely know that we want a solution for that. So we are working on an alternative or an update to Syncro Live that's going to, make your lives a little bit easier in that regard. So that feature request has not fallen on deaf ears. We are working on a solution for you all. Steve giving us a script. So the .exe from command line doesn't work in Windows 10, but this script did for removing the problem KB from Tuesday. Can everybody copy paste from Q&A, or should we put it in chat? Or
I can drop it in chat. I actually think there might be a limit to how much is in there. But I can drop this in chat if possible.
Yeah, if you can. Steve's saying it doesn't stop reinstalling, but it does silently remove it from an asset. So again, this is really helpful when, the community can come together and help each other.
Very much so.
Awesome. Friendly reminder, we're 13 minutes away. So if you need to click on some links, we've started adding that disclaimer of acknowledging time. And we have an odd empty Q&A right now. So I'm like thinking, anyone
that never happens on a Friday, ever.
Everyone's testing that script. Everyone's clicking that Windows patches link.
They're all putting out fires from Patch Tuesday.
Yeah.
They need more coffee.
Like maybe I need more coffee. Let's see. I'm wondering if we should poll a question or something, or if anyone has any fun things that they discovered this week or recently that's been coming up on demos, or something that would be valuable to just deep dive real quick.
I mean, I have a fun little thing that I discovered. I mean, it's not like a new feature in the system, but I'm happy to share. I love when on demos with people, when you tell me how you bill your customers or how you want to set something up. I think I talked about this on Tuesday, but I had a call with a gentleman and he's like, hey, can I add one prepaid hour to their account for every device that they have, which I thought was an awesome idea. And it does go into like a pooled number of hours for that particular customer. But using our invoicing module, you can bill dynamically for anything that you want. Like I can say, okay, based on a number of endpoints that they have, I am going to add one prepaid hour to their account. So now it is going to automatically count how many managed devices Larry has and add one prepaid hour to their account. So you can do that. I thought that was really awesome. You can use this asset in RMM counter for any of your products and services. So if I want to charge them for antivirus based on a number of devices that they have, you can do that. Of course, there's going to be other ways to do that through policies and such, but I thought that was a really awesome idea, and I wanted to share in case anyone else wants to do that.
I love that. Thank you. I'm looking at this one from Charles. This is probably something I won't be able to troubleshoot over open office hours. Just having an issue with the install script running on some clients' machines to transfer over to Syncro from Ninja, which welcome, happy to have you. And so if you are getting any errors, or if it's just hanging or something like that, the best thing to do, if you're going to submit a support request, especially when it comes to something like this, link the actual asset. Be like, this is the asset that I'm having a problem with, because then it will eliminate any sort of like back and forth where we have to ask you those questions. And so if you are receiving an error, get a screenshot. If it's happening on only a particular list of assets, please include those assets. And one thing that I always like to just throw out on this one, when an install blocks, every once in a while, it has something to do with if that endpoint has some outside antivirus that maybe the other assets didn't have, or something that would prevent it from completing the install. So always, managed antivirus is my first thought, like usually when something doesn't fully install. So I just wanted to maybe give some advice if you do have to submit a ticket. But then also I know that it was mentioned too. I think you showed this, Brandy, when you were talking about it. But again, we do have those awesome importer tools. And so what Charles is talking about is basically it's like custom script that we build for you when you are. So this agent installer, so asset import tools, we build you a custom script to be able to run across your endpoints. And so this is what Charles is talking about, just so that everyone's on the same page. So again, not able to troubleshoot right this second, but sorry about that. Let's see. Brandy, are you up? Or no?
Yeah, so I just see, this is just a comment, but well, I guess there is a question with it. So big thank you on the Syncro backup. It's pretty fantastic. So welcome. We're happy to hear that you tried that out. Would love to hear. And this isn't just for backup. I just want to throw this out there for any of our users. If you have a success story, like this has nothing to do with backup, but if you are using a certain feature and you absolutely love it, or you land a new client, or you've hit a huge milestone, I think we have Bob in here too, who recently hit 40 years. So if you guys have those, I personally would love to hear about it, whether you want to shout it in open office hours, or you want to drop your account executive an email just to tell us. Like, I promise you, you're not like you are bragging on yourself, and you should, but don't feel like I'm sending this awkward email to tell them that I have accomplished something. Like, please do. I just wanted to say that because I want to hear about it and we want to share that too. But back to the question here. So any idea of when image clone type backup will come as well? No, but we definitely hear our users, was a huge feature release for us, and we had to start with just something. So file base it is. And then image base, I do believe, is in the future. And I think you'll see Andy commenting on things like that in the Facebook group, but we just don't have an ETA on when that'll come.
Okay, I'm gonna go through a couple of these. Trin wants to know, how do we automate the ticket creation if the email is coming in for a specific tech? So I think I could read that question a couple different ways, but I just want to show that you can have like, let me think about this. If you go to contracts, I'm fairly certain if you add a service level agreement to that customer, there's a couple ways. So actually now I'm thinking there's I think several ways. So you can have a service level agreement that one customer always gets assigned to a specific technician. So when the ticket comes in, it'll auto assign to that technician. The other way to do this is depending on where they're creating the ticket. If they are creating the ticket from like the agent contact form, meaning they're right clicking the system tray icon, creating a ticket from there, depending, you can have different contact forms for like all of your different customers. You can assign it to a specific technician from the agent contact form as well. Am I missing, is there email rules too? I'm trying to remember all of the ways that you can have it automatically assigned to, I don't know if it's in email rules. Let's just look really quick. So if a domain, Larry's Lamplighter comes in, can I have it auto assign? Oops, edit. Let me just look here. Yep. So you can also do it by domain. So there's like 3 different ways you can do that based upon where how the ticket's being created. So hopefully that helps. What other one? Oh, Garrett says, can you change asset type? For example, we took in a laptop repair. It was a type repair, but now it's an MSP device. It needs to be synchro device for billing. So you can only manually change the asset type if it is a manually created asset. If it has the Syncro agent installed on it, it should automatically be a Syncro device and you can't change that. So if the agent's installed, it definitely should be a Syncro device. If it's not, please reach out. You might, if you install the agent, you might have 2 assets and you can't, like you can have your repair asset and then your Syncro device, and you can merge those assets so that they're all the same. So that's it for me. Okay.
I'll go ahead and take one. So Evan says the Mac agent beta. Andy said there was a new release into PM, but he didn't reply. I will shoot Andy a message. We'll nudge him to check his inbox, but I'm assuming you sent like a Facebook message. He gets so many. You guys, he's very active in the Facebook group, but I promise you, if he said to PM you, he will respond. We'll nudge him on that one for you.
Awesome. Trin just has a follow-up question. If email coming in for a certain email address or even a certain domain, ticket would create for a specific client. And so just piggybacking off of what Crystal just reviewed, but in the admin section, you can actually set up email rules. And so just wanting to go ahead and review that one more time, but being in here, you can actually establish those email rules. And so if we drill into one here, you can set it up to where, let's just hit edit. A specific subject filter or certain domain can then open a ticket under a specific customer name and then even assign to a specific technician there. And then it can even auto create a new contact underneath that client if they don't already exist.
Awesome. Super helpful. Thank you, Hannah. Real quick, I have a question from Adam. He says, did you say earlier that a single contact can see multiple customers as in customer portal access? I thought it does not work that way. Only one contact can see one customer portal, correct? The latter, you're correct. One customer contact can see only their own customer portal based on the permissions that you give them over in your admin section. So real quick, I know we're running up against the clock. I did want to share with you the specific setting of what I am talking about. So on the customer profile, I clicked open the customer portal, and again, you can control which of the contacts that work under this one business have access to which parts of the portal. So if you only want regular employees to see only tickets, you only want the bookkeeper to see only invoices and payments, you can restrict that. Over in the admin section under customers and portal user permission groups, once you build these out, the levels of access, you then assign the levels of access on a contact per contact basis. When you enable the portal user, you say, yep, this person right here, they get access to everything, admin portal user group, or whatever it is that you specify. And real quick, I loved what Brandy was saying, that when you guys succeed, please brag to us. We want to celebrate with you. This makes us happy. This is why we are here. This is what fulfills us in our role. I dropped into the chat box. We had a user reach out to me and share a story that he got the keys to his dream office at his dream location. And that, to me, that was like enough fuel for probably like, I'm still like fired up from that. So we love it when you guys are like, hey, this is the goal. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. And when we can help you, like, yes, we are in a sales role, obviously, but when it's our tool that can help you and our advice, and we're here for you, and you guys keep coming back every week, and that just like, that's everything to us. So please share your success with us. We'd love to celebrate with you. If you're curious about the post, I dropped the LinkedIn message that I shared. If you want to drop a comment, a like, a message to, and yes, please do so. And we would love to connect with you and celebrate with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you, ladies, for answering and helping all those questions. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully we see you next week. We do these every Friday. So have a wonderful day. Thank you all.
Bye.